It is the We Are You Morning Crew. I am George Daigle, and yes, you're in the right place to get the sizzling subjects and the trending topics. Good morning, 10 minutes after the hour. If you had to be there at the top of the hour, you is late. You better get a good excuse. The car broke down, the dog ate my homework, my baby daddy wanted to make another baby. I don't know. Whatever works, get it in. I am here in the studio on this Mono Monday. Yes, indeed, Hunty. We are getting it started with the crew from Set It Off ATL. They are in the studio, and the diva has already risen. I ain't gonna say no names, Enrique. I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna do that to you. I ain't gonna do it to you like that. I ain't gonna do it to you. So I will go around the room and allow everyone to say good morning, starting on my right and going around the table. Go ahead and say good morning.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Quan Legend.
I am Enrique Fan, a.k.a. Papa Smurf.
Good morning, everybody. This is Terrence Styles in the building.
Terrence Styles in the building.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it spelled Terrence Styles? Is that spelled?
Yes. Just like that. Yeah. Just like that. That's how you spell it. That's how you spell it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here in the studio today, and we have them all in here. And the brainchild, or the person who created this whole entourage, is in the studio. We'll talk to him a little bit later on. So, reality shows after reality show after reality show has been created. And now we have a new one. Now, first of all, I have been watching Chasing Reality. Shameless plug. I know they're not here, but I got to include all the children. Interesting.
How so?
Interesting.
Oh my.
It's interesting. And so I was watching. First of all, Set It Off Atlanta. I was like, wait a minute, they finna do this movie as a series? What's finna happen?
Oh my God.
And so I turned it on. I said, wait, these is all men. Oh, they really gonna change this plot. And that's what, well, maybe all men. Yeah, so I didn't say, no shade. I'm just saying.
I mean, the truth is never shade.
Exactly.
As Terrence says, facts.
Right, facts. F-A-X. So, Set It Off Atlanta started off already with a bang in the first episode with drama. I'm like, what, can we get to the next episode? So where's Black?
Oh.
I mean, he wasn't there when the first drama started. He's not here now.
Oh.
So
He's
just
around.
Oh,
He's
my
around.
bejesus.
right. So how did that situation work out? Did it ever work out at all? I mean,
He been in two situations. We need to know.
Yeah, he's been in a couple
situations. So it depends on which situation you're referring to.
all right. Well, okay. Let's go to the phone situation.
Okay.
Yeah, there was that phone situation.
Yeah.
And Norris,
Yes.
you know, he decided he was going to share some information that he saw online with the group, and he wasn't really feeling it. So let me get everybody's temperature on that. Starting with you, Terrence. What did you feel? Like, why was it?
So for me, I didn't think it was warranted. One, I get where Norris was coming from because it was public and it was on Instagram. I get that. But this was supposed to be your friend, someone you work closely with. It would have been more prevalent for it to come from me or come from Rodney because we don't know Black, right? Enrique knows Black, Quan knows Black, Norris knows Black. Rodney and I don't know Black. So us would have been, one of us would have like, oh my God, did you see? But for it to be Norris, they'd be friends and they work together. I thought that was a little odd, if you will. Like I didn't know where his angle was. I didn't know where his motives were. But it was a bit much. But what the crazy part is, what happened after that, the conversation that happened after it, that's where he should have started with, because the story that he told us was very unique, and I think if he would have led with that, it would have invited a lot more people in to try to get to know him on another level and probably could relate to the situation that he was going through.
Yeah, because I know that he was formerly married and has kids, plural.
Yeah.
And so there's some situations, getting to know who you are and trying to fit in. So I get that whole thing. Now, were you all friends prior to the show? I'll ask you, Quan.
The only person I knew prior to the show was my Papa Smurf. Everyone else I just met, and met Terrence in like passing like auditions and stuff like that. But other than that,
Now talking that mic, baby. Put it in your mouth.
not
Like
this
food.
early in the morning. I mean,
Sometimes it's better in the
it's better in the morning. But no, the only person that I knew like well prior to the to filming the show was Papa Smurf.
Okay, good. So what is your role? How did you fit into this whole story? Because you came in on the third episode, second?
Yeah, they introduced. Well, I was in the first episode. It was me and Rodney briefly.
In his office. Yeah.
But then, yeah.
You were officially in the third episode. See, I was paying attention.
Yes, you was very much so paying attention. But I came in. I got to know everybody. Trying to build bonds outside of the show, so it wasn't just for filming. I also got to know people on the outside as well. So I guess I was deemed the shady one.
You were deemed or you are deemed?
Right.
I was deemed.
Still present.
So deemed as in past tense, where it was deemed, you're no
I'm a
longer.
Christian.
Oh my. Oh my Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen of PSA, some of the shadiest people I've ever met are Christians.
I'm not one of those.
Okay.
They're not Baptists.
Now, how did you feel, Papa Smurf, when they came to you, a.k.a. Enrique, but if you watch the show, he's affectionately known as Papa Smurf. Let me go ahead and explain to the audience who haven't watched the show, why is it that you are called Papa Smurf?
Well, I'm called Papa Smurf because people say that I'm short, old, and wise. And I tend to gravitate to raising the village. So everybody kind of comes to me for advice and consultations and things like that. And I'm not perfect. I have to making sure I say that because people want to throw that out. I'm definitely not perfect. Papa Smurf on the cartoon was not perfect, but he was the wisdom, and he was the person that everybody sought after to kind of pour into them. So that's really who I am in the community.
Okay. Now, when you were approached to do a reality show, what were your first thoughts?
Well, I wasn't approached. The take on the show was when I saw the audition, I reached out to Quan because at the time I was already acting and Quan wanted to get into acting. So I was like, son, this will be something good for you. So he decided to audition for the show and he got on the show. I never wanted to do reality TV. That was something I always stayed away from because I wanted my reality to be just that. And I know sometimes with reality TV, they can water that down, edit it, and I didn't want that for me. So I think you have been filming, working with them for about 2 or 3 months, and he was like, Daddy, they need you. And I said, what do you mean? He said, you need to be on the show. You need to be on, they need your guidance. And I was like, okay, let me think about it. So I got in touch with Brandon and the other producer at the time, and we had a virtual meeting. And on that meeting, I stated to them, at the age where I am now, I can't be on a television show doing drama, mess, and fighting. It's just not my lane. So if I came on, I would have to be someone who came in and motivated, coached, and they agreed to that so that I could actually give some positive feedback when it comes to gay reality. Because all the time you see people on it, it's just mass fighting drama. Now that's just not who I am. So I called them. They didn't approach me. I called them to get on the show. Okay. So after talking to them, they decided that we could work that out. And I was originally a C cast member, so they say.
This cast has made so many changes.
So yeah, I was never supposed to be a cast member, period. Just kind of like a friend to the show. But through turmoil and chaos and confusion, my dear friend Brandon, I didn't want his project to suffer because of things going on, so I kind of stepped up, and that's why during this season you don't really see a lot of me in certain episodes or connecting with certain people because I was just kind of that watered down person that would be the Imani Van Zant, Inyana Van Zant. I don't say Imani, Lord.
Go ahead and give her props. Give her her props. That's my girl.
Well, that's been my girl long before Imani. So yeah.
Right.
But no, seriously, I wanted to be that person to the show. So I approached them because I when he said that they needed me, and I told you when my kids call, I come. I just signed on to
it. Was a mess at first.
Was it? What was it? Was it a mess? Tell us, Quan. Tell us.
So it's no secret we've been filming for almost 3 years. That's the running joke that we have. So it's been quite a
wait. How many episodes? Wait. So how many seasons do we have in the can already? Stop it.
So cast members have come and gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Some cast members
leave. It kind of makes us start back over.
Okay. Okay. So we see Black. I saw Norris. Is he still a member of the cast?
I don't know who you're talking about.
We don't know who you're speaking of.
Oh. Okay. And then there's Terrence.
Styles.
That's how it is. That's going to be forever.
That's fine. Yeah.
And Quan.
Yes. Rodney.
And Rodney. Yeah. And Rodney.
Oh.
I just said and Rodney. What?
No, that was
What? That was not.
What you said is how you
Actually, I was trying to recall his last name, and I was going to say Walsh. I was going to say Walsh because there's a famous guy named him, but I had to remember, and that was the pause. That was the pause. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
So, with the person that we no longer.
I don't know that man.
We are sorry for that man. I do not know him.
Know her.
Okay.
We
All
don't
right.
know her.
Nobody.
Is there anybody else that we are going to see or should see, be looking for, that is going to add to the?
Oh, if you saw the episodes, you saw Carl.
I did not see. Okay, I watched 1, 2, 3.
Then you should have seen Carl.
Carl was introduced.
He was
He was in
the second
episode
episode.
2.
He's big mouth loud.
Oh yeah. I didn't know he's permanent.
Let's go how this all started. So we had.
See, I'm confused.
We had a lot of cast members that have we started, and then a lot of them have either quit or got fired. So it's no secret. A lot of I think everyone except Papa Smurf have basically said deuces. Like, we all have had a moment where we just said, I'm done. I'm no longer filming. So that was one reason why a lot of things. I'm not in a lot of episodes is because I walked away like after a point in time. But truth be told, I had a lot of things filmed prior to me walking away, and that's when I left to Texas. And I don't know what happened once.
Okay, so now I'm gonna have to ingest all of this and then come back for this next break because it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot, children. It's a lot.
Set it off, Atlanta.
Set it off.
Baby,
Set it off.
baby, I'm baby. Like they, honey,
Yes.
honey. Well, ladies and gentlemen, tell us what you think about all of this stuff. Set it off, Atlanta. You can see it on YouTube right now. 5 episodes in.
5 episodes.
5 episodes in, and we're gonna really get into Papa Smurf and Quan and Terrence Styles. It's all right here on the We Are You Morning Crew. Hey, y'all. The We Are You Morning Crew. It is the We Are You Morning Crew. I am George Daigle on this Mono Monday. That means I am usually in the studio by myself, but now I have the cast of Set It Off ATA. Pew, 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 pew. And they are a cast of characters. I like it. You know what? I'm so slow motion. Now this young man, Papa Smurf, been sitting in front of me, and I've been watching him on these shows, and I'm like, first of all, I've been saying he has the best cheekbones ever in life. And then I'm like, it clicked. Oh, he's at the shows. I'm so slow. It's not your fault. I'm just drawn that way. Anyway. But we are talking to the cast, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to the creator. EP in the building. Brandon is here. So let's talk. Let's talk. Can we talk? Can we? If you get a little closer, put that in your mouth.
Put it on your mouth.
Like food.
A little deeper.
Yes, yeah, like food. Exactly like food. So now, what was your motivation for creating Set It Off?
The motivation was to cover a little bit. I grew up in a church community. I when I say that I'm black, I knew that very early on I was a black man. We have black days. I want to be around a group of all like that. So it was when I saw I always wanted brothers. I grew up in all that. So I always wanted a group of brothers.
Now you are getting ready to hold auditions for the next season. How many more episodes in this season? Yeah, I was going to ask you that question anyway. How many more episodes? How many in this? A few. Okay. All right. But buck up your seatbelts. It's about to be a bumpy ride. Now, and it's night, but I say ride. Anyway, now when you are looking for cast members, what are you looking for?
Authentic people. I really don't need anyone who feels like they have to turn up for the camera person. Your real life, your natural drama.
Okay.
Everyone's saying people's name, and that's a word on somebody trying to hop over and say something like that. And I want to expose the world to the fact that as gay people, we're not all out here scamming and trying to sleep with married men and, stealing things and like that. These people have brains in their future. So I want to expose the world to that. To see that here in Atlanta, there's a lot more to the scene than what they may think.
Wow. Okay. So if they want to audition, what do they need to do?
All you have to do is go to the pop-up production Instagram page, put the link in the bio. It's the first one. You click it, there's a submission form. You submit the information there. Make sure you put your phone number and everything. You'll contact me back when it's time to request, whether it's virtual or in person.
Okay. Cool. All right. Interesting. All right. So when you picked this cast, because they were brothers, and I guess you all kind of knew each other at some point in time. What was it about this cast that you said, okay, this is what I want to launch from?
Well, first, I will always have to give credit where credit is due. Kevin Watley is the actually started he was amazing in fighting these as well as locations performing and all of that. So I always give him credit for that. Like Enrique said, he was brought into this from Quan, but Quan was brought into this from Kevin. Like he found these people and came to audition, so I'll give him that credit. About this is that they all had something going on. Like we had people who applied, like you apply for a job and said looking at availability and you get a job and all of a sudden people with members of the probation. These people really had this going on. And when the cameras were on, as well as when the cameras were off, they were still working. They still had things going on. And that's what we need.
Okay. All right, so I want to go around the table real quick, and if I'm going to ask, starting with you, Terrence, or Quan, since you're already on the camera, what is it that you think you bring to this, and what do you want? Well, let me start with this. What do you think you bring to this cast?
As far as what I bring to the cast, of course, the shady person.
The shady Christian. Go ahead, continue.
Of course. I'm the fun individual. I speak my mind. I'm also a very brotherly type of person. Initially, I was like the big brother in a sense. I kind of get that from my father in a way, my mother.
See there.
But yeah, I think I'm the fun person. I'm the shady person. I'm the one that I'm all about business as well. And I'm, like I said, I'm the cool kid.
Say, but you do know what the Underground Railroad is, right?
Of course.
Y'all, see.
In a pursuit, exactly.
Okay. Now, Terrence, what is it that you bring?
So, George, I'm so glad you asked that question. Because I'm not, okay, let me first say this. I'm not negating what people in my community have brought to reality TV, but I'm tired of seeing the same kit and caboodle, if you will. I'm tired of seeing the same people wearing, and I'm not negating this, I'm not trying to bash nobody, but I'm tired of seeing our community always the ones that are like accessories. The ones that's the good girlfriends with the main characters and wearing makeup and heels and purses and keying and all that. That's not who I am.
Right.
There are different layers to me.
Right.
So for me, the reason why I decided to do this because I want to show that, hey, there are gay African-American men that look like me, that dress like me, that talk like me without having to add all the other nuances.
Right.
There are Enriques, there are Quans, there are Blacks, there are Rodneys, there are Carls. There are other people that bring different elements to reality TV besides of what you see on these other reality TV shows. Not all of us want to sit and fight. Not all of us go to the club and turn up. Not all of us was like, starting up something. Not all of us. something minor and then make it major.
Right.
We are all about our business. We're all about making memories. We're all about making history, and we're all about just having fun and really trying to coexist with one another. Not all of us get along, which is perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, we can still have some sort of respect for one another, and that's important to me.
Okay.
So that's why I did it.
All right, and Enrique, besides your cheekbones, what do you bring to the show?
First of all, let me just say this. My cheekbones are natural. Because, because everybody always thinks that they aren't, but I am Native American. And so, as I always tell people, my two brothers have the same cheekbones. So when you say, this is working, we all have the same cheekbones. So they go with me, not together. Anyway,
Honey, the shade is right here. Go ahead. Okay.
But as I said earlier, what I bring to the show is positivity and strength and encouragement. The guys have told me that my biggest problem is that I'm too happy, and that I pour too much of me into people. And Rodney actually feared that I would defeat myself because I'm spiritual. They've all gotten on me saying that I'm too helpful, and in my mind I'm like, how is that a bad thing? But I get it. People are generally concerned about your well-being, but I just wanted to literally get on TV and show people, like Karen said, a different side of the matter. And I think that what people have become so accustomed to is the negativity and the drama, and when they get the positivity, some people aren't receptive of it. And that's fine, because as I always say, everything ain't for everybody. Some people like ham, some like ham, others like ham. So if you don't like that, don't go there, both.
Right.
Meaning, don't watch our show if it's not up to your part or with you. So I'm grateful to Brandon for sticking to the goal of actually showing a positive side, because we have been getting a lot of practice because of that. Because people are actually tired of seeing people not doing that thing in every episode. There's a fight. It's like, well, who's gonna fight this week? But actually with us, you're actually seeing what we're doing and how we're doing and how we're doing. And as we're going to see the next 5, you're gonna get to see more. You're gonna get to see more of that, because we all now know, the task at hand, so we know what we need to put out and what we need to come to. So I'm hoping when it's all said and done, there's some little boy from a country town that is watching the show that gets inspired to do the same thing that Brandon does.
Wow.
Do the same things that we do, because you have to realize that some people don't have the outlet. So when you do these shows, you have to be mindful of things that are not good. It's natural, but once you're not doing it, you don't make it shocking.
Great. This gets.
No, I'm serious, because the guy from Africa.
No, I'm saying
right.
Our YouTube have shown that.
And they would love to have heard what you said.
Our YouTube statistics have shown that we have international people.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is wonderful, and that's great. One of the things that you all mentioned here was that you wanted to have a spin of positivity. And you spoke, Terrence, about the accessory, and I remember on a particular show that we won't mention, but y'all know who I'm talking about, when we had some central characters to the cast who were gay and were like purses, and earrings. They were in a scene for the Goo and the Gaga. Every time I talk about these characters, I think of Tammy Roman. Yes, honey, come on, sit down. Let's get a kiki and a kaka and a cuckoo, and then they're gone, and you don't even never heard of them again, never to be seen again. And I think it's important to have central, characters. I mean, we have Chasing Reality and shows like yours, Set It Off, where we actually see ourselves, as you mentioned, Brandon. Because I remember as a little black boy, a fabulous little gay black boy, growing up, I never saw me. And I was a little too fabulous for the straight boys in my neighborhood, so it made me start diminishing myself, and I didn't have anybody to say, no, that's you. Now years later, at years old, I understand, being fabulous and being able to see that on screen for somebody else who was me back then is a wonderful thing. If you could go back and speak to that little boy, I'm gonna start with you, Brandon. If you could go back and speak, and I got some Kleenex somewhere here. If you could go back and speak to that little boy in Chester who didn't see, didn't know, question, trying to find, what would you say to him?
I feel like I'm on Drag Race. I'm about to have
don't do this. I can't do this right now.
No, honestly, I would tell him that life is going to be very hard. But you have to stick to what it is that you need. No matter the obstacles that come your way or the people who get in your way, you have to still go over them, around them, under them, however you got to get past them, to get to them. Things are going to happen to you, and you're not going to know how to deal with them in the moment, because you'll make it, and you have an amazing support system around you, whether that's friends or family, who have your back and do it for you.
Terrence?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, if I could go back and talk to my younger self, I'm with you from Baltimore, I would sit myself down and say, hey, baby, it's going to be all right. Like, there are going to be some times where you're not going to like yourself because of what other people think that you should be. I will also say that you are going to get to a place where you get older, you're going to realize who you truly are. And when you get to that age, you're going to look back and say, oh my gosh, I could realize I was going to be this person back then, but didn't, when you're not set up. Kind of like what you said. It's okay to be who you are. When you're not set up with that, or you don't have the mentality at a young age, some people do, some people don't. You don't know that until you get older. So at that point, it's like you are going to be kind of slow of getting to know a lot of things in the culture as you get older. I was always late bloomer, pretty much with a lot of things. And so I also would tell myself, it's okay to be a late bloomer, because you will help somebody along the way because you saw it at an older age, versus getting into things at a younger age and not knowing and being, blinded by it or what have you. And also be aware of those negative people and the people that say they love you, but they really have other motives. And once you realize who they are, believe them, and move on quickly. And don't give nobody second chances, because it'll happen. So yeah, don't give nobody no second chances.
All right, Quan. You've had a time to gather your thoughts. What would you say to your younger self?
What I would say to younger Quan, be yourself. I have always, and you see I started tearing up and I'm trying to fight it back now. I masked myself a lot when I was younger, because I was always trying to impress my mom, impress my grandmother. I was raised by a single family, my single mom, so it was always not wanting to be a disappointment. I was always told younger that, oh, he's going to be gay, he's going to be gay, he's going to be gay. But at that moment in time, I didn't know for a fact that I wanted to be gay. It was just that I knew I wanted to pursue acting, I wanted to pursue modeling, I wanted to pursue ballet and everything of that nature, like anything with fine arts. So I actually fought back and held back a lot of things because of what I thought people was going to think about me. I could have actually got a lot further if I had embraced all of that back then. But what I would tell younger Quan was just do what you wanted to do and live your life for yourself. I'm at a better place with my family now. Of course, we're all good and fine and dandy, but I definitely would have told myself to pursue dreams, because I could probably be on one of Tyler Perry's shows or somewhere in Hollywood right now if I had stuck to the gun and stuck to what I wanted to do back then, and not listen and try to be what I thought people wanted me to be. I've always been the person, I never liked to let anyone tell me exactly what I was going to do or what I was going to be. I kind of always wanted to prove them wrong. Like, everyone was like, oh, he's going to be gay. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, no, I'm just going to start dating girls and having girlfriends and all that other stuff. And internally, I wasn't happy. So I would just say, live your life for you. Your family and everybody will be okay. And just be great.
Good.
Great.
All right, Papa Smurf, it is your turn. Look into the camera and talk to your younger self.
Okay. What I'm going to say is going to be a lot different than what they both have said, because my mother's youngest brother was gay. That was my original gay mother in the lifestyle. So at the age of 13, at the age of 12, I had already told my mother that I was gay. And she never shunned me or anything. She was just like, oh, you're going out of this. And I was like, okay, if you feel like that. So my uncle was doing pageants at the time. So my best friends and I had a dance group, and we would go dance with him. I'm doing this. I'm in the club club at 13 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
Dancing behind him. Now, he had us in his restroom, secluded from everybody, and we just go out to do his talent or whatever. But my mom told him she didn't mind me going as long as he took care of me and as long as I went to school. I went to school every day, perfect attendance, never missed school. Even though I was doing shows Thursday through Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
I still graduated salutatorian with 3.5.
Come on now.
Yeah, so my mother has always been supportive, but not just her, my entire family on my dad and mother's side have always been supportive of me growing up gay. Because as I said, my mindset was, hey, when I get home, I want to be loose. You put on fronts and airs at school. You can't let everybody at school know. But when I get home, that's my comfort zone. So I told my mother because I didn't want to come home and have to, feel be shielded. My oldest brother and sister have always known because we were just that close. So talking to the younger me, I really don't have any regrets because I'm a firm believer in what's supposed to happen in life is gonna happen. So to counteract what Paul was saying, I used to feel that way when I was in my 30s, and then I started to think, if you didn't go through life's lessons, if you didn't make mistakes, you wouldn't be encouraged to go on and go further.
True.
So I never say to myself, if I would have done this earlier, I could be, because what you're supposed to be, you will be. So don't beat yourself up thinking that you never made it or you could have made it, because if that's where you're supposed to be, God would have governed your life in that manner. Now, I'll say this. The steps that you've taken to get to that point, embrace them, acknowledge them, and learn from them. And as Terrence said, don't make that same mistake, because mistakes are experiences. If you're alive beyond that mistake, it's an experience. So continue to experience life and experiment with life, but just know that you're moving in a positive direction. But don't beat yourself up, because I was told by my mentor years ago, don't give yourself time stamps. Don't say, by December the 31st, I want to be, because once that date comes, it expires, and in your mind, you feel like you failed. So don't chase after dreams, set goals.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing.
Sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen, some wise words from the cast of Set It Off Atlanta. Now, we've got 5 minutes till the top of the hour. Are you guys going to stick around? Okay, well.
Can we get breakfast? Can I do the hip-hop report?
We'll have a little kiki and a little kaka and a little stuff going on. Right. 3 minutes to the top of the hour. If you got to be there at the top of the hour, you better get a move on, boo-boo. You're going to be late. It is the We Are You Morning Crew. Good morning. The We Are You Morning Crew. It is the We Are You Morning Crew. I am George Daigle, and yes, you're in the right place to get the sizzling subjects, the trending topics, and yes, we're setting it off this morning with the crew of Set It Off ATL. How's y'all doing this morning? Ladies and gentlemen, the last but definitely not least, it is he himself. My camera's about to fall over, Jesus. I'm about to do this. Right. His name is BLAQ. Black to you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So, Black, you are the last coming to the studio, so you're getting all the heat. All right.
It's very hot in here.
Now, y'all know he had this plan. He's like, I'm gonna get my own session by myself.
Things that make you go.
All right, Mr. Black. Now I'm gonna go back because you missed a couple of important situations. What is that sound I'm hearing? I don't know what that is. Oh, try to move that wire. Yes, that's exactly what it was. All right. So there was a situation in the beginning of the episodes where a certain person whose name will not be mentioned, as I've been told, and a certain post was public, and it created a little bit of controversy and a little bit of discomfort for you. Why don't we talk about that a little bit?
But the post itself was, I was dating someone at the time that I did the busted challenge with them. So it was like we were just having fun or whatever like that. I was coming out of a hard relationship. He just took it upon himself to say, "This is what I'm gonna bring to the show." It was like it wasn't. If he would have did it in a different light, it would have been seen differently. But he did it as if he was trying to be messy. So, and if it would have came from anybody else, it probably would have been like, oh, they just seen it or whatever like that. They just talking about it. But he made it seem like it was a problem, like he liked me or something. Like it was so that's what it seemed like to me. And a lot of other people said the same thing. So
well, did he?
Oh, we done flirted a couple of times. It wasn't like bad.
All right. That's why you listen to We Are You Radio, boo. We are you. We get it too. We get the tea. Now, have you recovered from that? I mean, because when I was watching it, this is me and you talking. Can we talk? All right. When I was watching, I was like, well, I don't see what the big deal is because it was on, social media. So why can't he talk about it? Explain, because
it was just the fact that he was my friend. He knew I had just came out of a bad situation to where I couldn't show who I was dating at the time. I was dating a guy for 6-7 months, and
now come on in that microphone.
I was dating a guy for like 6-7 months, and he was like on the DL side, so I wasn't able to be seen on social media with him or none of that stuff. So when I met this guy, it was like, okay, a breath of fresh air. He wanted to do the busted challenge. I was like, let's go. We shooting guns in the woods, stuff like that. So I felt like it was cool to do it, but I feel like Norris took like that moment.
Took your
and just kind of exploded it a little bit. Even though it was on Instagram, if it would have came from anybody else, I would have been fine.
Okay, there is some distortion. There's some wire or something that's making a noise.
I don't know what it is.
That's it.
That's what it was.
That's it.
I love y'all, bye.
All right. Yeah, because I want the people to hear you, baby. I want the people to hear you. All right.
But yeah, so he, I just felt like he took it and ran with it because he needed a storyline. You know what I'm saying? So it hurt me because Norris knew what I went through. Quan knew what I went through. Brandon knew what I went through. Like, it was hard being with somebody and being in love with somebody and you can't be seen with this person. Like, it was real hard. So I went through a lot.
Now, if I may, being in a relationship with a DL guy, was it that was the type of guy you wanted to be with, or was that just a situation that you fell into? Hey, this is what I do.
Well, with him, he was different at first. I knew it was something about him that was like that he was hiding, but when I first met him, it was like we spent time together all the time. Like for my birthday, he's a Leo too, so it was like for our birthday we did stuff together, went out, enjoyed. Like we weren't taking pictures or anything like that. We were just enjoying each other. So one day in particular, someone was like, "Ask him, is he married?" And I just asked. He was like, "Yeah."
Wait. How long into this relationship did you ask this man if he was married?
Probably about a month.
Wait a minute, Black.
Listen. Hear me out though. So this is a big mistake that a lot of us in this community make. We fall in love with these DL men, and it's like by the time you find out their truth, it's like, okay, well, I done been with this man, or I really love him. I like him. He treat me good. Like, I want to be with him. So we put ourselves in the mind space of, okay, he might leave or whatever like that. Even they were going through a divorce at the time. They're still together now, but they were going through a divorce at the time. So in my mind, I was
Black.
Yeah.
Now you know that is the oldest story in the book.
It is, because I've done it myself, so it is.
Continue.
It is, but that's a mistake that we made. You know what I'm saying? That was my truth. I definitely, looking back on it now, it was like, bro, you just really setting yourself up for karma, honestly. Because when I get married again, I don't want to have that situation happen to me. So I definitely feel for his wife, baby mother, all that good stuff. I feel for her because it's not fair.
Now, what are you doing differently? I'm just getting your business.
Okay.
What are you doing differently in this relationship that you may have been a misstep in that last relationship?
I'm definitely not posting anybody.
But did you ask if they married?
Of course.
Okay.
But we definitely do different things, date, all that stuff like that. So we actually spend time with each other at their house, my house, whatever. So, yeah, I'm taking my time for one. I'm not in love with nobody right now, but myself and my kids. Just enjoying the ride. That's it. Taking it slow, very slow.
Okay. Now let's talk about your music real quick.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to get it in here and play it a little bit later on. I'm gonna see how fast I can work. Tell us about the music aspect, because I know you were saying you were performing on BET or something.
Yeah, I performed actually at Black Ink Crew. It was like for a BET special type situation.
Shout out to the Black Ink Crew, because the Black Ink Crew Radio. How y'all doing?
Right. So I didn't actually make it to the BET set of it. But it was a lot of big names in the room or whatever, so my music was actually seen by a couple of people. But music has been good. I actually had a surprise for you guys. I performed Thursday night, and I got my first record deal offer.
Oh, wow.
I did not know that when the young lady, it was live with Carisha, she actually asked me to come perform, and usually it's like you have to pay or something like that to get on a certain platform. So she asked me to come perform. I did not know it was going to be like a lineup of artists and stuff like that. I didn't know. I had no clue. So I beat 5 straight people on this platform. Only gave Bill on the roster, and I actually came out on top. They offered me a record deal, and I got to meet with them sometime this week.
Wait, okay, all right. Now you about to take my break over time. Okay, 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Look, 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes.
All right. So in the industry now, where we see Lil Nas X and Saucy Santana and who else is out? Big Frida, and other artists coming behind that are now going mainstream. How does that feel for you in this moment?
I mean, it's exciting because I'm a different type of person. So, like when you speak about Big Frida, Lil Nas, and all of them, it's like they're more of the how can I say, and Saucy too, more of the flamboyant artists. So I mean, I can be flamboyant when I'm comfortable around my friends, but when I rap, I'm real aggressive. And you can't tell whether I'm gay or straight unless I say I'm fucking a dude. I mean, having sex with a dude or something like that. But it's exciting because they kind of paved the way a little bit to make it easier for us to, say we're bisexual, gay, whatever you choose to call yourself, and do music. Because the thing is, I just want to be an artist. I don't want to be labeled as a gay artist. I just want to say I do music.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Does it make you feel uncomfortable being called an LGBTQ artist, or?
It doesn't, because that's people's opinion. At the end of the day, that's the way they look at it. But who I am, I'm just an artist. I'm just somebody out here who creates music for bi, straight, whoever. I create music for everybody. I'm not just trying to target one set community. I want to target everybody because everybody needs to hear my story.
Well, devil's advocate. While you may say that you are just an artist, and Big Frida and Saucy Santana, and they may say, and Bugs Gunner, and I'm trying not to leave out all my I
love Bugs.
I can't wait to get him in the studio.
I love Bugs.
While you may say that you're just an artist, in the hip hop community at large, because your pronouns are your pronouns and your sexuality is your sexuality, you will. And I think you should embrace it, but this is just me talking. Right. You do you. But you will never just be a hip hop artist, because that is a part of your brain. That is a part of your pronouns. That's a part of your language. That's a part of what you put into your verses. So if you are brought onto the stage, this is Black, the new LGBTQ hip hop artist, would that be like, nah, I don't want that?
Because at the end of the day, no, because at the end of the day, my goal is to take care of my kids. So any way I can get out there, I'm going to get out there. But it's all about how I feel about myself. many people can say I'm LGBTQ, whatever, y'all can say that, but at the end of the day, I consider myself an artist. My main goal is, no matter what stage I'm on, to get that check to take care of my kids and go about my business. That's it.
All right, and shout out to the kids. What's the baby's name?
Right, Kobe King and Carter.
Kobe King and Carter.
Kobe King and Carter.
You got Treachery? Because I thought there was two names on one. I was just making sure.
Three
you know
boys.
how we do.
3 boys.
All right, 3. Okay. All right, then you somebody baby daddy.
I am somebody baby daddy. I got a baby mama.
Come on. Hey, baby. You want to shout out the baby mama?
Girl. So if you with it, I'm with it. Yeah. So when I wrote the song, it was kind of like, this is what we sound like. It was kind of like I was going through things and just finding myself and finding out. So really, I was falling in love with myself.
So it's a love song to yourself? So who is it?
I am a father, a visionary, a hustler. What's so many? It's like late.
Now there was a question that we asked about. What would you say to your younger self?
I would tell him, don't get married a second time. Because it was the worst decision I ever made. And just, regardless of what people say about you, keep going. Because there was a period of time when I was younger and I wanted to. So, yeah.
Now, when you watch, because we last one here, I'm asking all these questions to everybody. I heard. I want you on those seconds.
I did, y'all.
We not fit to do this the whole time. But what do you bring to the show? And what do you hope viewers get in this season?
Well, besides the drama that has been happening, I just wanted to bring my music and my grind, and, the hustle and stuff like that. I just wanted people to see, like, there's actually artists out here who do what they say they do. Because I was traveling almost every other week, performing, doing this and doing that. Like, that's what I bring to the show. I think I'm the only artist. So, yeah.
Is there somebody that you would mentor, somebody that look up to, somebody in music? Yeah, I know Pop's work with everybody out there. But in music, who are your mentors? Who do you vibe with?
Y'all not hit me. Not hit me, please. But the baby is one of my favorite.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
I knew he was gonna do it, y'all, but it was nice to have him here. But only because his artistry, I love his artistry. All the other extra stuff that he do, that ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't even paying attention to it too much. I feel like he's very disrespectful at times, but I love his music. The fact that he takes care of his people, you're gonna find out.
So would you work with him?
I would. It's just that it's the hustle environment or something like that. You can't. He go crazy too much.
that would be like poison? You know, as a non-LGBTQ artist, but as a person who's from the community.
Actually, I think it makes take them early. Because any publicity is good publicity, no matter what.
You know he got canceled. He was making a
Well,
money.
he got canceled, but they gonna be looking at me like, okay, you done did the song for the baby. What you do that I didn't do? So yeah, they gonna definitely wanna. It might help him a little bit. The baby, come and do a song. It might help him. So no, I was just playing. But yeah, I definitely would. Okay. And mulatto.
Well, she's lotto now, right?
Big lotto.
Big lotto. Love my girl.
All right, so I'm gonna go around the room and let's talk about the controversy. First, we're gonna start with the Dave Chappelle situation. Now, I know when you hear this thing, but we all know people from the same community. Anybody that wants to speak first? What was your take on it? If there was anybody?
Okay. No. So, one thing that upset me about Dave Chappelle's special was the fact that people don't understand.
Hold on. I just want you to know we don't care. And can't nobody see your face.
Oh, because I wasn't hiding, I was cold. Okay. Hold on, cause baby, ain't nothing to hide from nothing. But the one thing that bothers me is that we don't know the impact that our words have, and you know that's the impact of intent. And that was the situation. His intention was not to be hurtful, so he said. But the impact of what he said was, none of us are trans, but as I stated before, my life was secret. I lived my life as a woman for about, a drag queen slash something. For about 23 years. From 15 to 28. Somewhere in there. But long story short, I know the struggle. And I know that when a narrative is pushed and is put out there, regardless of what you try to say to the person, don't do that. If that narrative is out there, it's hard to come back when you put out a negative narrative. So, I can't sympathize with him saying that wasn't what he intended to do. Everybody was saying he's not talking about backstage. You know, it was all this back and forth, but regardless, intent versus impact. His intentions were supposed to be not to harm anybody, hurt anybody, but what you did was continue to have people with that perpetuated mindset that you can do this to certain people or certain people this way because they feel, you know, all the people just need to be validated. So it goes back to the Trump administration when he said that he didn't incite the riot, but he didn't technically use the word that you said what you said, but still put people in their mindset. And that's what they think of.
Anybody else? You don't have to.
I agree with them to an extent with that too. I personally, because again, I'm not trans. I dealt with I have gay sisters. The one that actually just transitioned, and then I actually have one who's in the process of transitioning, which passed away. So thank you. No, but I personally didn't take it personal for the things that he said, and especially because I actually sat down when I started seeing everything on social media. I actually was like, okay, let me watch and see what actually was said. But like you said, I think his intent wasn't to harm anybody, but we're in a time and place now where something that you said is going to basically make people treat or they're going to feel like it's comfortable to say those types of things. And you never know, someone could be going through something mentally and they could actually go, you know, God forbid, kill themselves because of what he said, and someone go out and say something disrespectful to someone. So I personally didn't feel anything by it, but I get why people felt like it was disrespectful in a sense. So I kind of, I don't want to use the word sympathize, but I don't really think it was in the sense of there for that. But yeah, I personally didn't take any. I didn't take anything personal by what he said, but I just think his intent was not to harm anyone, but you never know the impact that someone could be going through mentally. So, yeah.
Well, like the baby and with Dave Chappelle, and intent is important, but even if your intention was not harm, when you hear the echo from the community saying, yo, this hurt, this was hurtful, this was a problem, or the baby, yo, this is not cool. And you, if not Dave Chappelle, there was a non-harm, hurt somebody. I hurt you all. I didn't mean it. That's not what I meant. And I'm sorry. Now, I'm not sorry you feel that way. You can't say that. You know, I'm sorry that you took it that way. I'm sorry I hurt you. That's not what I meant. And it costs you nothing to do that. Even if in the back of your mind you don't believe it. But for the all you have to do is say you're sorry. So him not apologizing for Baby defending you, apologize. Okay, glad.
Okay, so well, when it comes down to the Baby, and I definitely do not believe what he said. Me personally, I wasn't offended by it, because we hear it every day in our own community. So the way I felt about it was, why do we want to counsel this man for something that we do every single day? We bash each other on health. We bash each other on weight. We bash each other on having sex outside. We bash each other every day for the same stuff. But now that it's coming from a man, a straight man with a higher platform, now everybody's offended. That's how I look at it.
You know, but hold on. Okay.
I think that's why.
Let's say this also. There are things that we can say to each other. Girl, bitch, fish. We can say that. Or we can call each other the N-word. Yeah. We can say that. Yeah. But that doesn't give you permission to be able to say that.
That's why
That's why the way I feel about it, I agree. But it still does not make it right on either level. Because I just feel like it doesn't make it right on any level. We're making somebody who's straight comfortable enough to do this stuff because we do it with each other. Even though me and you could read each other down and be the best of friends the next day, we're doing it, and it depends on where we do it. If we're doing it for it to be seen by everybody, then everybody's gonna feel like it's okay for them to do it too. Like sometimes we just certain stuff we just need to keep for ourselves. Because he had no business saying what he said at all.
In his defense, rare moment they can get pre-recorded on this. In his defense, I felt like, and I'm usually, if I say something, if George Daigle says something, I'm usually on him, but this impact that I have is really, really good. I felt like he had a conversation with somebody in the community, and there was a little insight. He was feeling cool for a minute, like I talked to my boys. My boy said this stuff. We had this conversation. So I'm on the stage, I'm feeling it. The little guy in the front was, he paid attention to him, and in that moment he was like, "Yo, you not blah, 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 blah." Not thinking. Me and my boy, whoever the person was in the community, could say that, but I don't really have the permission, right? And maybe he didn't have the fortitude to figure it out. Now, baby, you can write that down. That's the only time I'm going to defend you. I'm thinking of that is what precipitated what you said. That's just the time. You don't think that's what it was when you came? What you think it was? Put the mic on.
So, and George, I don't know how old you are. I think I years old, but I'm sure that Terrence can relate to what I'm about to say. Most guys like the Baby.
Don't say that. No.
Okay. Well, from what I've learned in my life, the situations I've encountered and endured, guys that are on that path that act like they are DL. And I said he has been competition or he has done it in the parking lot. That's what made me think that. Because he may have a gay homeboy, but that gay homeboy may be his side piece. Right. And I'm saying this from experience because I have met a many DaBaby in my life. And as he was saying about his last relationship, they're out there. Right, they're out there. So I felt like he could have been intoxicated or inebriated, and that's just me, my speculation. And you know how sometimes that happens, you start to say more than what you're supposed to say. But I really feel like he has had a personal encounter. Now they're trying to say, no, that's not what it is. But he was a little too familiar with his content. So there is no way in the world that he can get around a gay person who knows these type of things and say, no. I really feel like he has either been competition or has done it or is doing it. Because we all know how celebrities are. They go on the front and they're doing these other things. So that's my take. I'm not gonna agree with the fact that he was educated by somebody on his home and that he was just on TV.
you've done this. You've experienced it. What thought about it?
Now, Quan, you've been real quiet.
I like it, baby, but I mean, I honestly, when that situation happened, I did kind of delete most of his stuff out of it because I just felt at that moment in time, it was just his timing was very disrespectful. Like, I still love him as a person. I still think his music is great, but I just didn't want to support him because not just because it's my community, but it's just like they said, to me, it felt a little too familiar for you to say that explicitly outside of the parking lot doing it. How would you know it was outside? You could have just said, "Oh, behind closed doors," but you said in the parking. You ain't in the parking lot doing X, Y, Z. That it's just kind of you were painting a picture like you either heard it or you done it.
You know, and the baby, I don't know if you're gonna watch this. I'm sure somebody gonna share it. If you want to come to the station and talk, I'm good, and I'm no judgment. Seriously, no judgment. I know a lot of people have tried to pressure him into, being associated with these organizations and stuff like that. I would welcome. What was it that made you comfortable? And it's not calling the BL. I don't know exactly. I mean, weird. I know you guys. But I mean, if you'd like to have that conversation, I would like to know what it was that in that moment that you was like, yeah. But back to you, Black. I'm gonna see how the last word in this second. I do think that he's a great musician, and he's good for music. He's featured on this series of singles that he's working on the air. Do you think that when an artist does something like this, or the other artists like him, do we cancel him?
No, I don't feel like we should. I feel like it takes a moment of education. I do agree with y'all. I don't know what he do, but it did sound familiar. But I don't feel like he should have been canceled. I felt like mainly, honestly, when I first heard it, I felt like it was a publicity. I mean, people do it all the time. And then he dropped the record a few days after. Then he had a situation with his baby mother. Dropped the record the next day. It's a publicity. You just got to pay attention. Even though dead wrong what he said, but these artists out here doing stuff that people say. Your brand getting hit in certain ways. You're going to try to do everything that you can do to keep that money flowing.
Speaking of BL, how about Lil Boosie? I said it. I said it. Everybody put their head down. So
You don't want to claim that, man.
we're not claiming him, but I'm gonna call him.
Yep.
Exactly. What do you think is the real issue when it comes to Lil Boosie and Lil Nas X? What do you think is really at the core? And then we're gonna go a little bit over time.
Success. It's definitely success.
It's definitely that, and I think he wants to have a piece of him. Like you have to read between those lines. The lines can be very, very thin. They say that I want him, but I don't want him. Other people to know that I want him, and because I want to be a part of the success that he is having. Because Lil Nas X went from 0 to 1 million. And so he's trying to finagle himself inside, figuratively and literally. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
I love what you got. Oh, you have to say. Quan, you were about to say something.
I agree 100%. I think, like you said, Lil Nas X has. I honestly think his publicity is genius. The things that he does is genius because you're getting your name and people are circulating your name and they're talking about you. With Bootsy, he's been out for God knows how long.
Notice the word out. Go ahead.
He's been in the industry for quite some time, and granted, he's had success, but I don't think it has been as fast tracked as Lil Nas X success has been. Like, granted, I can name a few little Bootsy songs, and he's here and there, but I think his success has been like mainstream. It has really like blown up, and it's one of those things like he said, you're trying to attach your name. Like, let me talk about this person, so my name can get thrown in that little equation too, so I can ride off of that a little bit too. And I also think it's a little, hey, this little boy, he's kind of cute. I may want to play with him a little bit, but I don't know how to quite say that. So let me try to. But see, a lot of guys they're scared that their business is gonna get put out there, so they don't want to be that direct. So they're gonna throw little subliminals until someone say, okay, slide in the DM. You're gonna have one of his assistants or somebody say, hey, little bootsy, blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. Exactly. And he go probably oblige. He's like, hey, pull all that. What that mouth do?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've been sitting it off all morning, and they really got, they about pulled out the snacks. They got all kind of energy. Well, before we go, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know that Set It Off Atlanta can be viewed on YouTube absolutely, positively free. I know y'all can all afford that. So go out and support, like, share, comment, subscribe, participate, follow. What else I need to do?
Be mindful what the hell you say there.
Because we do have mouths.
Watch your mouth.
And audition. Ladies and gentlemen, the auditions happen to be December 12th. Correct? This weekend. That's good. We're gonna get your stuff together. You ain't gotta be all turned up is what I've been told.
Be yourself. Be yourself.
These girls will know.
So just
Especially that shady one over.
Pop-Up Productions ATL on Instagram and YouTube.
You better keep your draw.
You don't sit behind a desk every day to earn a living. You're out and about making it happen. And sometimes you get a little bit